And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Lads, I don't know what film you were watching, but it wasn't the same film I saw.
I'm all the man you need, Mark.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked and appalled.
So I'll bring it up, Ted.
It wasn't a very good movie. I laughed at it more than I laughed at The Possession.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 9, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who is now at the age where if he sees a nice nursing home he makes a mental note. It's Mike McDonough. Live from Vegas, we have a man who goes running just to meet new people, like paramedics. It's Sean Leonard. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who says it's great that he can always count on the local graveyard for free Mother's Day's flowers. It's superhero. This week we'll be discussing a movie in the shape of American Ultra and some TV in the form of The Carmichael Show and Public Morals. We'll also have some news and some previews come to a bicycle near you. Now, I'm pretty sure Mark has a story for us. To kick us off.
I'm usually pretty good for a story at any given moment, Steve. So, my dog, Neo, has needed grooming since my son was born. He needed grooming the month he was born, actually, but as nappies
neglected.
and bottles piled up...
Neglected.
He never got groomed, right? No. I brush the guy, right? I do my part. But there is a point where my rudimentary skills in the art of dog grooming are no more use to him, and he needs a skilled dog scissor surgeon to come in and do his thing. So we've been sending him to a groomer not too far from us. And we're at a party, of all places. And pets came up, and next thing, everyone started coming out with stories about this groomer saying, oh no, he's wild rough, he's very rough with the dogs, like wild rough with them. And we were actually talking to a pet owner whose dog had come back from the groomer marked.
No way.
Now, yeah. So, I never would have believed it of this groomer because the groomer seems like a really nice person. And I definitely wouldn't put the two together. But anyway, I'm sure that it's not true, right? Or at least most of it is exaggeration. But you wouldn't take a chance with your wee lad, But there are some clues in Neo's behaviour. As soon as he starts to realise it, once he realises he's going for a trip, he gets excited. And once he hears the car slowing down, he starts barking because he's excited to get out. And then once he realises where he is, he plants his four paws and refuses to walk. He won't walk any closer to the groomers. And then once I lift him up and start to carry him in, because that's what you got to do to get groomed, he starts shaking. And the shaking continues until he's back in the car on my lap 3 or 4 hours later. So the clues were there, right?
Right.
And I put it to the groomer and said, this dog shakes quite a bit. What's the deal? And he goes, it's the breed. That breed, they hate groomers.
Right.
Which was an epic evasion in hindsight. Yeah. So we searched high and low.
Yeah.
And we managed to find the opposite of that kind of a groomer. This groomer didn't even want to lift him onto the cutting table. She wanted to charm him up onto it.
Right.
So I need to interrupt this story with an urgent news broadcast. We have exactly 1 glass of red wine left in the house.
Uh-oh.
My wife is rearing our 5-month-old almost single-handedly because I can sleep through anything. And she's having that 1 glass of red wine. She just brought it into me with a stricken expression to show me 2 flies that have landed in it. Sorry, 3 flies, she corrects me.
I didn't even get to take a sip. I think in the bottle. I think they fell in after I poured it.
I think they fell in after you poured it. Alcoholic flies. It's a breed, Okay, I'm sorry, fair listeners, right? So I see Steve take a note there so he can decide whether he likes that interjection or not for later. Michelle, you may be edited out and you might find yourself on the cutting room floor. So this groomer anyway is the opposite of the other groomer. She wanted to try and coax him up onto the cutting table. She wanted to let him like smell the scissors and make sure he was happy enough with it, and a whole bunch of hippie tree hugging stuff, which meant that the grooming takes more or less 3 hours. But Neo was in there today. He was happy with her beforehand. He actually ran, even though he never met her. He's the worst guard dog ever, but he ran over to give her a cuddle when he saw her, this stranger coming. And he was happy afterwards. There was no shaking at any stage, and I think we'll be bringing him back. So it's an epic win for dog groomers everywhere.
Very good. So, Michael, what have you been up to this week?
I've been very, very depressed, Steve.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We watched, normally I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
This week it's not so fantastic because I watched the hurling.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You better explain to our avid listeners.
Our local team got into the All-Ireland final for, I think, the 27th time. And we managed to lose our 23rd or 24th of those.
Yeah.
And it was all looking so sweet at half time. We were doing really well.
It was indeed. We're ahead.
Yeah. Comfortably so. But not
So this is hurling, Mike. This is a game I'm not familiar with.
It's Irish game.
What does it look like?
It looks like you get a bunch of big kind of semi-psychotic men and you give them sticks and then you throw a ball in the middle and tell them to go fight over it.
That's a fair
Would it have a lot in
description.
common with Spartacus?
Yeah, well, they don't have shields and the sticks aren't pointed. So there are some differences.
So could it be like if Spartacus was a game of hockey, this might be it?
Yeah, probably that's close enough.
And how is it different from hockey, this game, hurling, of which you speak?
Well, you can lift the ball up off the ground.
Just with your hand, like you can just reach down and lift it up?
No. Yeah, you have to flick it up.
It's a lot faster for a start. I'm sure some hockey players might dispute this, but I feel
probably
that they're wrong before they start.
Oh no, they can dispute away. They're categorically wrong.
But they're not on this podcast, so they don't have their opinions.
Good point.
Yeah.
So tell me, any B movies this week?
Yeah, I managed to just sneak in one little one, Deep Evil, which is I think 2004. It's a good quality shite.
What kind of evil is it? It's deep.
It's pretty deep. Yeah.
And what was the premise? I'm sure there was some slashery stuff in there.
Well, basically, the Russians found an alien.
Oh, right.
And the Yanks somehow got a hold of it, and they thought the best idea ever was to clone it and then weaponize the clone into a virusy type thing.
I see.
So as you can imagine, this is eventually going to get out.
Yeah.
And, of course you have a crack team on standby for just such an eventuality that has to go down into the mountain and sort shit out.
Because you're trained for this kind of thing.
That's right, yeah. So everybody dies.
All right. Very good. Sorry
Best
to spoil
kind
it
of
for you.
movie.
Yeah.
Mark, what else have you seen this week?
Saw the UFC at the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't a bad one. I was actually looking forward to the Dodson Johnson fight.
Yeah.
Rematch.
Yeah.
I thought, are we still within the statute of limitations? Can I spoil?
I think we can talk about this one. Yeah.
I suppose it'll be Friday by the time
Yeah,
this comes
exactly,
out. Most
yeah,
people are
yeah.
going to know at that stage. I was expecting it to go the other way,
Yeah. So was I.
After having watched the first fight, I thought Dodson was going to do it, but most certainly didn't.
Not this time.
No, he definitely didn't.
No way. There were some great fights in there. Actually, did you see Joe Riggs? He was back fighting.
Joe Riggs.
Yeah, do you remember Joe Riggs from years ago? Blondie guy.
Joe Diesel Riggs. Yeah, who did he fight?
Um,
Was it the early prelims? I didn't see those.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Ferreria, I think. Not sure. But he got It was funny because it was quite controversial because he got schlepped and he had a cut right in the corner of his eye that was obviously giving him a lot of trouble. Right, he kept putting the hands up and wiping his eye and all the rest of it. And then he said he couldn't see great out of it. And then there was an illegal kick. Oh no, he got an up kick to it, and that really stunned him. He had his hand in his eye again, and your man knew that he was in trouble, so he kept at him. And then Riggs had your man on his back again, and your man did an up kick, but Joe was on his knees.
Ah.
And Joe said, they stopped it, and Joe said, I can't see out of my eye. And doctor came in, they said, okay, we can't continue. But the other guy was disqualified for the illegal up kick, so Joe won.
Okay.
Yeah, he was winning the fight anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was he was going.
But if he was winning, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I thought, oh no, he's going to lose it. He was so close. He was only like seconds away from knocking him out. Like he was really pounding him. He was... Anyway, there was a couple of other great fights in there too. Trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. That was the standout one anyway. But yeah, what else was there this week? Remember we talked about Narcos?
Yes.
Yeah. So
you
finished
I
that,
watched
did
the
you?
start of that.
did you? Yeah. What you think?
Yeah. Geez, it looks really good. I actually stopped watching it because I thought my wife might like it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
My God, high praise indeed from Mr. Leonard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be mutually acceptable TV.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised
Or
that you
Matt
went with
V, which we're all searching for.
I'm quite surprised that you went with the subtitles.
It's not really though. It's not that bad subtitle-wise
Only
as
half.
subtitle things go.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's so good.
We're going
It's
to
so
preview
good.
a film in a while that is
Yeah.
but a bit later in our broadcast.
It's so good that I felt that you would get over that hump and feel that it's worth it to sort of have to put up with the subtitles. Yeah, it's really good. I gave it to what do you call it? Links to a few other people. Just like, go watch this, and they came back and went, "Oh my God, it's brilliant!" Yeah. So,
have you finished it yet?
Oh, I finished it 3 days after it started. Right.
That's the problem with Netflix.
Best show ever.
Yeah, straight through it.
Binge
Yeah,
watching.
Totally. Okay.
Just one little thing I noticed the other night on, the Sky Movies.
Yes.
They had a special, what's the word? It's not a special offering, but a little gimmick where for a week they had a Tom Cruise channel.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Really?
That will be the greatest channel in the world.
It was the first thing I thought of was Mark would fucking love that channel.
Well, sure, there wouldn't be a bad film on it. He never made a bad one, that man.
Mike, would you say that the channel, was a pretty good TV channel?
Stop it. Stop it.
And then it had a crisis of confidence.
Actually, the tagline was exactly something Mark had come up with, because it just shows flashes of him doing cool stuff.
Running.
Yeah, lots of running and jumping and stuff.
smiling.
Then he says, that's what I can do in 10 seconds. Imagine what I could do in a whole week.
Very good. Geez, a Bruce Willis channel now in Mark, have you set up?
He'd never leave the house, would
Sure,
he?
he'd never need Netflix ever again. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go to the news. So I just have a quick one this week. It's kind of news, but it's not really something that I picked up or needed to pick up this week. But it's just about the summer blockbusters.
Okay.
And how they failed. All right, so we'd 4 big ones.
Yeah.
Big budgets. Tomorrowland, just Disney's, right? Out in May, end of May. Budget 190 million. Global gross 208 million, and a loss of between 120 and 150 million. Ooh. Now this is taken into like all the marketing and the budget and revenue and blah blah blah. Yeah. So what else was there? Fantastic Four, of course. Expected loss 80 to 100 million. Yeah. Pixels. Now this had a budget of just I think just a bit over 90 million, right? But it's expecting a loss of about 75 plus. So ouch. And The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yeah, so you guys gave, still haven't seen this. You guys gave it a stellar review.
Yeah.
Best one this year, in fact. But it's expecting to lose over 80 million.
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good one out of that list you just had.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Of course, it was brutally timed. Didn't it go head to head again with Straight Outta Compton?
Yes, the same week. Yeah.
Probably wasn't on reflection the best strategy.
No.
There was also We Are Your Friends, the Zac Efron movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about that last week. That really bombed. It was the third worst opening ever.
It was the third worst major opening ever. Yeah, like over 2,000 theaters, and it made like something like an average of $70 at each movie theater it was at.
Oh god.
So there's a bit of a conspiracy. I don't know if you heard about this in China. You know, the second biggest market and all that. And Terminator was number 2 for weeks, right? So there was a domestic movie out at the same time.
Okay.
And I think it's like a People's Party movie. It was used by government. What do you call it? It was like an in-house movie. What do you call it? Government artists.
Okay. It's a very patriotic movie.
Yeah, and companies that made this. But the figures look as though they've been fiddled so that it stayed on top slot, like badly.
That's shocking.
Like
shocking, Steve.
For example, I think it was Terminator had like 15%. It was something like, was it 20? Was it 20? I can't remember. 15% of the cinema seats were for Terminator, right? Okay. And so it only brought in something like 11% of the revenue. This thing had I think it was 7% of the seats, but brought in like 59% of the revenue. Like it wasn't actually possible that they could have generated that much revenue from those many seats. Like,
people decided to pay extra to see the movie.
Exactly. There's definitely fiddling going on. It's worth reading up on it. It's just it's kind of funny that still goes on. So. What were the ones that? The big earners this year, I guess, were San Andreas, Mad Max. And that's about it, isn't it? Straight Outta Compton, of course, as we said, yeah. So,
well, the year's not over yet. Still got Spectre in the pipeline and Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars! I've heard of people who've booked tickets to Manchester to go to the IMAX to see it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I would love to do that.
Isn't that such a great idea? Like,
it would so be worth it. Like,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Actually, I heard there's a crew back on Skellig Vihil.
That's right.
Little extra outtakes and whatever that they need to finish the scenes.
The people giving out, of course, because it's a UNESCO heritage site.
Yeah, down with that sort of thing.
Yeah, but apparently they want to do some stuff. They're limited. They want to do some night shots.
Okay,
but they can't film at night. They can only do daytime and dusk. Okay. So I guess they'll do a bit of jiggery pokery to make it look like night. But of course, people are giving out that you shouldn't be doing that and that kind of thing down. But like someone said, if they're making a movie about the famine, there'd be no problem.
So they're not planning to dose it with radiation and make it luminous
at
night or anything.
Exactly. Okay, let's start with the first of our TV. Sean, tell us about Public Morals.
Public Morals is a period piece about cops who might be crooked, or maybe they're just as crooked as the society in which they live. It essentially just follows a bit of backdoor dirty dealings with some police in New York City about 60 years ago or so. And, the complications that ensue from trying to maintain both a family life or a romantic life while being a cop, while trying to keep the whole city running. They refer to themselves as managers or landlords. So it goes from there.
Yeah. So this stars
Michael Rapaport was the one big name that I saw there. Well, big. He's a guy that I see in everything, and I like him a lot. There was also, he played Theodore Bagwell in Prison Break. Oh, Robert Nepper is his name. I also saw him pop up. The rest of them all just looked like they found super Irish, super attractive people.
Your buddy McDonough is in it.
Is he?
Yeah. Neil McDonough is in it, yeah.
I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Or is he later in the series?
Oh, maybe it's later in the series, yeah.
Okay.
But he is in this series, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, he's a good thick Irish head in him, so he'd fit right in.
He's quite good.
Like the giant baby, yeah.
Yeah. Giant wrinkly baby, yeah.
That's so true. It's such a good description. So is this written by Ed Burns? It stars Ed Burns, but, or is he directed or something like that? I think, he directs it and has writing credits, actually. So, so it's kind of a family affair here. I enjoyed this. It's a real old school Irish American cop series. got a strong supporting cast, and dialogue is sharp. It's interesting and kept my attention. What do you think?
I did kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't sure to start with, but as it went on, it grew on me. I thought it was kind of sweet, like the way, they were living in a time where they could get parking in New York.
Yeah. Just pull up here. Yeah.
I thought the acting was decent enough. I suppose they set up the world as such pretty quickly. You got an idea of who's who and how the rules of the game work here, without too much to and fro about it. The bad guys are probably not as obvious as they could have been, but maybe they're going to build that up as the season goes on. You get the impression that there's a Mr. Big out there somewhere that we haven't heard about. The family dynamics I thought were funny as well.
Yeah.
Just the thoughts of having that level of control over a teenager nowadays are just hilarious. As I can well attest.
So you dealt well with the period aspect to it. I know you.
Yeah. Periods can be a
about
problem
that.
for me,
yeah.
but this one was okay. They were all very respectable looking, and
no fake dirt. Yeah.
And I think there was enough of a story to cover over the period ishness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, how did this go down?
Yeah, I liked this as well. Like, it's endearing would be the word that I would use, right? It's fun and it's endearing. As Mike was saying, you do, understand the world and the characters quite quickly. Some of them, and whether it's the actor's fault or the script's fault, are a little more one note and bare. For example, the cop, who we open with, the Irish, thick-headed cop who, is just going to go punch the people who need to get punched. I thought he was a little bit rote, a little bit one note, but I really did like the cop who was a father. I really liked when he picks the kid up from school and he's like, do you have any idea how proud I am of you for finally living up to my expectation of when you were born, I just wanted you to grow up to be an asshole, and you've done that. Thank you. Like, that kind of thing I really liked. I appreciate that. It's not only believable, but it's also entertaining. So I appreciated that a lot. My problem with it is that I don't know if this is because I don't understand the stakes well enough or because I didn't care about the consequences that we saw, at least in this first episode. But I like it, but I don't feel like it's important.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows that I watch where I feel like everything, pretty much everything that happens is going to be important.
Yeah.
Either for a character reason or for consequences for the world or for people in it. Whether it's Lost, The Walking Dead, Arrow, fucking any network, any show I like, that's, usually that's.
So you think there's a bit of filler in here then? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's there's maybe one or two people in it who I would care about if their lives completely went to shit. But beyond that, the actual specific movements that are going on, I'm more just my reaction at the end of the episode is more like, oh, they'll be at it again next week. Oh. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to going, oh shit, this shit is real. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's one of those ones that's going to be able to grab me for future episodes. Not that I think it's bad. Maybe it's not good enough.
Well, I think it definitely did have a small time feel about it, didn't it?
Yeah.
All the criminality was very much so kind of street level.
Yeah.
Not very important. And I suppose as the series goes on, I have a funny feeling they're going to ramp that up.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see the risk coming in. And hopefully, as you get to know the characters better, feel a bit more for them. But, I don't know. Sean may be right. It may just tipple along doing fuck all for the rest of the season.
Mark.
Do you know what I was wondering about this show, right? No, I liked it. Let me just say from the get-go, I liked it. It sucked me in very fast. You know the way you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but as soon as I saw the title, for some reason I suspected I wasn't going to like it. But once I actually started watching it, I did right away, so it was weird. But I like when the lines are a little bit clearer. Like, from what I can tell, pretty much everybody in this is a bad guy. Just they have certain aspects of their lives where they're sort of okay. But by and large, once they're outside the house, they're bad guys. Everybody. So then that makes it really difficult to decipher who the bad guy is. Particularly with the way the cast changed over the course of this episode. I thought we had that in the bag, but then it kind of changed. But it leaves room for a lot of lively character development. And I'm still kind of hoping for some paragons of virtue to emerge, that we can root a bit more for, because there's a lot of characters in this that are likable, but they're not good guys.
So do you think?
I thought that was very skillfully written. I thought all the characters were really, really deep, and they got that way quickly. Like it was the opposite of that thing that we hate, where people randomly tell each other stories about themselves. They very quickly grounded all the characters. Right from the start, actually. That opening scene was brilliant.
Do you think it
Mike,
would...
I sense like you don't agree with me.
I was just wondering, like, do you think it would have been better then if they'd given some characters black hats and other characters white hats?
Just wear red, like the Crips and the Bloods.
I feel like somebody... No, I know you're winding me up, and that's fine. But I feel like it's going to be a different kind of TV show, and it could be a very good one, because of the fact that there isn't anyone in a white hat. Like, nobody in Sopranos was wearing a white hat, but Tony Soprano was the good guy. And that was a great show that changed the way TV shows are written. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of this, I think, to see where they go with it.
I've watched a bit more.
Yep.
So
you're on season 22 or something.
Oh, man, if I had the time, I'd have ripped through this. Yeah. No, I really like it, and I think everyone sees like the positives. They're pretty common, you know. And I think the most important thing in this is the dialogue, because it would have died a death if it was.
Oh Jesus! Yeah,
you know, really quickly. If it was shitty dialogue, then you'd be picking at the era.
Yeah,
you know, you know you would. You'd be just like, the fucking wallpaper and
don't like his car.
Two new cars. You know, they're all shiny. I actually did notice that they were all shiny in the garage.
Yeah,
this is obviously one where, listen, can you bring your 70s or your 60s car over first, and your man's polishing. You know, there's none that looked like they'd been driving through salt for 2 months. You know, so, but you don't pick at that because you're too into the story. You know, that stuff just sort of, you know, whatever, you let it go. Whereas, like I say, I think if the dialogue was lesser, that we'd be giving out about a lot of other stuff, you know. So anyway, this, like yourself, Mark, grabbed me. I was straight in there.
Yeah. It's actually one thing that kind of struck me. Did they use douchebag back in the 60s or 40s or whatever?
Douchebag.
Is it that old?
I'd say so, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the reason that there are douchebags is that old.
It was the 20s, wasn't it?
I thought, I got the impression it was just after World War II.
I think of Boardwalk Empire was using it, so...
Yeah, okay.
That's
because they were talking about some guy who was killing Japs or whatever. So I took that to mean the World War II reference.
Killing Japs.
That's what he said.
Okay, you did say that.
That's what he said. Okay. Don't you get in your moral high horse with me, boy.
Yeah. So, Sean, anything else to say on this?
I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like, you know, when there's someone who you like, and you know you might have, like, you know, been on a night out and, like, you know, maybe had the shift and it's the next morning and you're like, listen, I like you, but I just don't want to hang out with you again. So that's where I'm at with this one.
So is that a thriller or filler? So you don't want to watch another episode? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to watch another episode. Like, I know I'm not going to, and I also I think it's good, but not good enough to get me to watch one. So it's filler for me.
Filler. Mark.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I want to watch more. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance, but it's worthy of thriller just the same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did like it. I think if the cops had been doing anything else, like a murder squad or something,
police squad,
I'd probably probably leave it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's Vice, I see it has potential to get pretty grimy and ugly.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a
you
try.
like that kind of thing. Yeah. Gets filthy, dirty. Yeah, actually, one thing that I really like this is that it's in New York, and it's not like, you know, that era is, you'd normally see stuff like in Chicago or Motown or something, you know, something like that. But yeah, I just I like that kind of Irish American second generation-y.
Yeah.
You know, they still have the sort of big thick patty head in them. You know, you know, a little bit Boston-y, you know, that kind of way. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed this, and I watched another 2 or 3, I think. So yes, thriller for me. Okay, next one was the Carmichael Show. Mark, tell us about this.
The Carmichael Show picks up with a young couple who've just moved in together, and they're wrestling with the perilous journey to his parents' house to tell them that they are now, in fact, living in sin. The background is interspersed with other such colourful characters, such as his older brother, who has recently gone through a divorce, but also hasn't told his parents about it. And we meet the parents and understand why nobody is telling them anything. The Carmichael Show.
Mike, I'm going to go to you first on this.
I think that's a good choice, Steve. I think both barrels are loaded.
This was a bit of a surprise for me because the very first thing I saw was an apartment with a big couch in the middle of the set and a door that you could see to the left where obviously new characters are going to come in and go out and have conversations.
Different strokes. Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, bollocks, don't make me watch this. Don't make me watch this.
Or is it the Cosby Show? Which one had the couch in the middle? Both of them did, actually, now that I think about it.
So did Friends as well.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, so there's two sets in this. One looks like the Friends set, the other looks like the Cosby Show set.
It actually looks a bit like the American Dad sitting room as well.
It does, yeah, very good. Married with children.
I know my couches.
Yeah. God, there's a list. The best couches. There's loads of them when you think about it. Anyway, sorry, go on. Yeah.
So that instantly had my hackles up. It's like, oh God, not another one of these bloody sitcoms. And then you had the two characters who were just moved in together, and I thought, oh my God, it's going to be cute, and there'll be witty dialogue, and it'll all be so shit. Jesus Christ. But then they started moving into things that I didn't expect, like jokes about religion and politics and race and stuff like this.
That's something I was going to say. It was very topical.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Well, this is a field that's normally covered by the likes of American Dad, Family Guy, South Park. Your family-friendly sitcoms tend to stay well away from that kind of stuff.
Don't talk politics or religion.
Yeah. So, on the plus side, I did like that they did that. On the negative side, I don't think they quite hit it. You know, there was... I applaud them for what they were trying to do, but the jokes weren't that funny.
Yeah, well done, lads. I can see what you're trying to do there. Yeah.
Well, you know, marks for effort.
Yeah, marks for effort. Yeah.
You know, if they, you know, took a good hard look at themselves and said, right, let's get really offensive here. This could potentially be a really good show, despite its setting.
I love your phrase. Take a good, long, hard look at yourselves there now, lads.
Don't mock me. So that's what I think, Steve.
I see. Mark?
I think the main problem was the mother.
Mm-hmm.
She had a single tone. She just wasn't as...
Yeah, single record.
She was monochromatic.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of them, she's monochromatic. And I've seen her in something else. Is she in Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, you're asking us?
You're asking. Yeah. she does look familiar. Yeah.
I think she was Chief Webber's wife in Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. Yeah.
But they also made a Grey's Anatomy joke in this, which was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Totally didn't get it.
Yeah.
They said, "Is that from Grey's Anatomy?" And the other character said, "Yes."
Wow.
So if you watched it at all, Steve, you should.
No. I was just like, "Where's That's the joke. Where's the joke?
No, you had to, because like it's for the likes of me that have been inflicted on with so much Grey's Anatomy in the past. So I heard him talk and I was going, Jesus, I've heard that phrasing before. And then one goes, is that from Grey's Anatomy? Yeah. Yes. So it's not the worst sitcom I've watched, you know. I think the mother is going to make it nearly unwatchable though, because if she keeps talking like in Grey's, she was very rarely on the screen. Like she'd have a scene or two in an episode from time to time. She wouldn't have been on for long periods, but she was on screen for half of that episode, and I don't think I could listen to her for that long. I think the couple themselves are good. Like the first episode of any sitcom, and I'm going to tell you about a second episode of a sitcom in a while. But the first episode, when everyone's just getting into the characters and all, can be a bit misleading about how good or bad the series is going to be. But I think this one is going to be kind of mediocre with some laughs along the way.
Sean?
Yeah, I don't know. I agreed with Mike up until he was complimenting the show, and then he turned that into a critique of the show. I like that they were looking at other topics that other sitcoms usually would stay away from. I think it's important as well to note that it's an African American family, occasionally discussing African American issues. For example, they had their main character, who I presume's name is something Carmichael. They had him talking, trying to distract from his own insecurities, just asking people to say why they voted for Obama and not using the words change or hope. And the most specific thing they could get was Michelle. So I appreciated that, and I like that is out there as like a visible thing, because I was trying to think of the last time, like the rebooting Fresh Prince. I guess that'll be another like African American thing. Yeah, they're rebooting Fresh Prince. Will Smith is going to produce. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. We'll get to it, I'm sure. But yeah, it was interesting. I kind of wish that they had taken. Do you guys remember Fresh Off the Boat?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish they'd taken that approach instead of doing a laugh track, like 2 sets, pull out the wall so we can have a live studio audience. I kind of wish that they'd just gone for it, invest a bit more money, bit more time, and just have some fairly risque and political, satirical, yada, yada, yada commentary. So, I don't know, I wish that had happened. It obviously didn't. But as it stands, I think it is a good sitcom. I think it's probably as good as any of the ones I've watched recently, like new ones, that use a laugh track. I mean, it's definitely up there with Chuck Lorre's, Big Bang Theory stuff. If you were to line the first episode of that up with the first episode of this, I think that they wouldn't compare unfavorably. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering where it's going to go, because in the Big Bang Theory you had, I wonder if the nerd's going to get with the girl, and also if that one guy will be able to talk to girls ever. And then with this one, all you really have is they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where the stories are going to come from.
Yeah. Good and sitcom. I have trouble linking those two words together.
Your discomfort is visible.
Never.
Sorry, what's that, Mark?
There's never been a sitcom that you liked ever.
Well, you see, this is the thing. I wanted to state this fact before I started critiquing it, because
So you didn't like Friends?
Not particularly. No.
You
The
didn't
Simpsons,
like
Family Guy,
different
American
No.
Dad.
It's things with a laugh track that get me.
Like Mork
You
and
didn't
Mindy.
like Different Strokes when you were younger.
I was younger. Mork and Mindy was different.
I was young. I needed the money.
Yeah. But
The word was so full of
but then
promise then.
you sort of, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd seen too many of them or something. But anyway,
Did Robin Williams do
this-
something to you when you were young?
at this stage of my life, right? I just don't find them that funny or entertaining. Now I can admire the writing. I can see why people like them, and I can see what makes a good sitcom and what doesn't. Doesn't mean I like them. Right?
That's very gracious of you, Steve.
Yeah, well, I'm fairly okay in that side of things. But it's just like we have seen much worse sitcoms.
Yes.
You see, my sitcom scale goes from 0 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So 4 would be like
Outstanding.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one is in around the 3 area, I think.
Nice.
It's better than average.
Yeah.
You know. I thought the actors were very good, except that character, the mother. Although I think it's the writing rather than her acting. I totally agree with you, Mark. Did my head in. The topics were great because it's up to date and topical, and they're not afraid to sort of go for it. Like we were saying, no politics and no religion. You know. But still, it's a laugh track. Just and I totally agree with Sean. They should have gone for an off the boat, fresh off the boat approach. I think that's the way you should go now. I think the sitcom. Well, if, you know, for me, it seems to be only me that says, you know, or thinks that they're from a bygone era. You know, that we should be moving on. Who watches sitcoms? Who's, oh, you have to be in on Wednesday to watch this sitcom. No, you don't. Really? You know? No, I just don't get it. So, anyway, I'll give this a 3 out of 4, which I guess it's above average, so it's going to be thriller. Could you imagine?
No, was that so hard, Steve?
Can you imagine?
I'm proud of you, Steve.
Only because it's logic, you know. Sean,
you've got a little bit of sick in the back of your throat, don't you?
Just give me a minute to recompose myself.
I don't know if I can reach those levels of critical, you know, objectivity and acumen. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm going to call it a thriller because it made me happier. Like, that's what I would say about this. For 20 minutes, I watched this show and it made me happier. And if it can do that, then it is worthwhile. I would call this a thriller.
Okay, Mark.
Oh God, I'm not going to watch any more, Steve. No, it's a filler for me. Sorry.
Filler. Mike.
I will probably not watch the next one.
All right.
But I might check it out again at, you know, episode 10 or 12 or something. Just to see.
Oh, just to dip in.
Well,
see how they're getting on.
Just to see if they've gone there. As it currently stands, it's not offensive enough.
Oh, okay. It's never going to be offensive. It's never going to be offensive enough for you, Mike.
But it might.
I can tell you now, it's not.
It might.
No, they skirt around lots of issues. You know.
Yeah, but it's implied. The first episode. They don't want to get banned.
Yeah.
They want to get big enough that they can't be put off the screen.
Tell you what, let us know. Right.
Yeah. So, based on what I saw, I'll have to give it a filler. But I'm leaving that open for revision.
So we're split down the middle then?
Yeah. Camp divided.
Okay, camp divided. Sean, are you staying with us for a bit, or do you have to run? I know you're under pressure.
Running would be preferable for my academic standing.
Okay. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll
no
catch
worries.
you during the week.
I will be a fully functioning human being at some point quite soon, I'm sure.
Okay. Good luck. Take it easy.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Okay, next up we had American Ultra, Mike. Tell us about it.
That's quite an accusatory tone, Steve.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was me that put this on the list.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. In fairness, it wasn't a great week in terms of stuff you could pick.
Right.
So thanks for giving me a pick in this week.
Right.
That said, I chose American Ultra. This is Jesse Punch My Face Eisenberg and Kristen, I look better as a skank Stewart.
Kristen, I don't need makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically a couple of potheads living eking out a fairly tight existence on minimum wage in small town America. And then all of a sudden, it turns out that Jesse is kind of special, and a whole lot of people want to kill him. And not only is he special, but when they try to kill him, he finds out he's quite good at fighting back.
Yes.
And it goes from there.
Yes. So, Mark, what did you think?
Having not seen it, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
But I really want to see it, though, and I'm very interested in your review.
Okay, so you'd like your review. Okay.
We previewed this some weeks ago.
We did.
It looked like The Long Kiss Goodnight with a nerd instead of Gina Davis, which for me is a poor casting choice.
But it did have Connie Britton in it.
It did.
Yeah, instead of Gina Davis. So,
Tell me more.
so yeah, we didn't hold out much hope for this when we reviewed it. I remember you particularly being annoyed, but I was actually kind of secretly looking forward to it. And you know what? I enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
There's a sparkle in your eyes, Steve.
You know, I mean, I enjoyed the whether it was intentional or not, the whole comedy setup of it, the whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy he's not able to leave the town because he's panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Yeah.
It's something that he's been how would you
brainwashed
into. So he can't fly out, or else he'll miss flights and all the rest of it. He can't drive out of the place. He's the same issue. So he has to stay in this town. He's like you say, he's a stoner. He works in a local
Is it a off license or something?
Little, corner store kind of thing. And just seems to be happy to get stoned and hang out with his girlfriend, who he's absolutely smitten with. And funny thing is, he can't remember his life before meeting her. Like literally, as he says, I can't remember my life before.
But he's wasted all the time.
I know. So that's the thing. It's like when did he sit down and talk about this stuff? Like about I remember when I was 5 or when I was 10. I did it. Like it doesn't seem to be a question that he has beforehand. So
well, he probably only remembers the way to the fridge.
Yeah.
That's all that's important to him at this stage in his life.
So the action ramps up pretty quickly, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done, and it wasn't OTT. And you know what? I think I preferred this to Agent 47.
Okay.
Not entirely difficult, but because it was more of a caper. There's the word, Mike. It was a caper.
Yeah.
So what were your likes and dislikes?
Well, I suppose first of all, I've had acne outbreaks that I prefer to Agent 47, so
okay.
it's probably not a great comparison,
but they're not dissimilar.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of constant action and stuff, and a hero who's
special.
Super special. Yeah. I really didn't want to see this movie just because I can't stand
Jesse Eisenberg.
Right. And although you did point out to me the other day that I did like one of his movies, the one where he was replacing himself.
He has a double. Yeah. I think
buggered for it. But it did put a chink in my armor of generally I hate this guy. I'm not watching his stuff.
I hate that.
Yeah.
What about this movie? Oh yeah, I liked him in that. Shite.
Damn you and your facts. It's kind of like if you took the premise of Jason Bourne, except if Jason Bourne was a dipshit. That's basically what this movie is.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah. It is actually, yeah. Oh, The Double was the name of that movie.
The Double.
Yeah.
Well spotted. Yeah. And it's kind of endearing because it is so self-consciously shit.
Yeah.
He's a shit hero with a shit girlfriend in a shit town. And it's only once there's a threat from outside that suddenly you realize, holy shit, how did he do that? How many times have I said shit in the last 2 minutes?
I know, yeah. I see where this is going, Mike.
Yeah. So the bad guys I thought were really good in this.
The assets.
Not so much the assets, but the CIA guy who's running running the show. He's such a little yuck that you just want to kill him.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect antidote almost for Jesse because there's somebody else you want to punch more than him.
Right.
Which I thought was a brilliant piece of casting.
Yeah.
Connie, always a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gotten to like Nashville yet?
No.
You're missing out, man. You're missing out.
Yeah. Oh, that FBI guy. You know who he is?
Don't know.
Do you remember that 70s show?
Never watched it.
All right. He was the star, or one of the stars, one of the lead characters in that.
Yeah,
and I was looking at him going, yeah, I know he was in something when he was younger and he's all growed up now.
Yeah.
But every now and again he'd make a facial expression and go, oh, it's your Yeah. Topher Grace is his name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not a chance I would have got that.
I mean, neither IMDb helps them.
Cheating bastard.
So like I said, it ramps up. It's a caper. It's a chase movie with not really a twist, but a secret that we're in on from the start.
Yeah. There's not too much thinking involved.
No. So it's a caper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there aren't enough good guys for it to be a caper. Isn't there normally like at least 8 or 10 people in a caper?
That's true. Yeah. Aside from that.
Yeah.
So, in summation,
it's not a great movie.
You know what? It's kind of a almost a matinee Christmassy movie.
Yeah. You're waiting for a train and there's nothing better for the next hour and a half.
If you're on a plane,
Yeah.
I think it's more like that. Yeah, it's not a blockbuster by any means, but enjoyable.
Yeah,
I had fun watching it.
Yeah, it's harmless.
Yeah,
good harmless fun.
Yeah. And actually, Mark, you would enjoy some of the combat scenes in this. Some of the fighting was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
What kind of style?
Kind of a mixture between Aikido and ice hockey.
So a lot of weapons was there?
Yes, a lot of improvised weapons.
Yeah. I'd never look at spoons like that
again.
Yeah.
And
there were some really cool ones. Now that I think about it, so one of the bad guys was particularly good. His name was Laugher?
It's Boyd Crowder.
Yeah,
Justified.
Boyd Crowder, yeah. He was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because he just went, oh my God, he's a mentalist.
Yeah.
He's an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought they did a nice job of personalizing him.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't just generic bad guy that does bad guy stuff.
Yeah.
There's one moment where you actually kind of feel for him a little bit, which kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect that to be in this kind of movie.
Yeah.
It was just a minute, but I thought, okay, nicely done.
Yeah, it's true. So, in summation, what would you give it?
I'll give it a 6. It's
6.
Yeah, it's average-ish.
Yeah.
On the enjoyable side of average.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 6. Yeah. That's about where it comes in, all right.
Should I go watch it then?
I'm sorry?
What?
Should I go watch it then, do you think?
I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, it's probably a Mark kind of a movie.
Yeah. It's not like I'd wait for DVD though.
Yeah, totally DVD or airplane.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
it seems we've lost Mark.
Mm.
Yeah, he's hung up on us. Yeah, he's hung up on us. God damn it.
Cheeky
No.
fucker.
Oh no, he's back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's back. Yeah. Jeepers, he's struggling back. Look at that.
Limping in from the cold.
You'll never keep me down.
So I promised I don't know how much you heard of it, but let me repeat.
Good.
I promised I would watch the second episode of Significant Mother.
Ah, okay.
To see if they had a new storyline.
Mm-hmm. And did they?
And sort of.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So the storyline this week was her son is more or less getting cougared by one of her friends.
Ah.
So it's kind of the same storyline, only in reverse.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't particularly funny. It was certainly no funnier than the first episode.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't hate it. I didn't want to gouge my eyes out watching it, but they seem to be going through these some jokes like no one business. So who knows where they're going to end up in the end. I'm going to watch a third episode and report back next week. I think that'll be my limit.
Jeez, you're a sucker for punishment, Mark.
A third one.
I'm going to watch a third one. You guys.
Totally.
That's the only reason.
Mark, have you got downloads going by any chance? Your signal is gone.
He looks better, actually, pixelated, doesn't he?
What you should do before you come out is just put Vaseline on your retina, like that,
Yeah.
you know, and you'd have that effect all the time.
That'd be cool.
I don't even know. I don't. And I have no issues with my signal.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you a shout if we lose you. Okay. So you're going to keep watching this. That's amazing. He's going to watch a third one. Yeah. I can't wait to hear what happens next week.
You'd know he used to be a fighter, wouldn't you? You could keep punching him in the face and he'd keep on going.
Okay, next up we'll have some previews coming to a bicycle near you. So this week we have The Man Who Saved the World, The Beauty Inside, and The Game Changers. So The Man Who Saved the World, this guy, The Man Who Saved the World is a guy we've spoken of at length before.
Yeah. He's something of a hero on the podcast.
He is indeed, yeah. Do you know what his name is?
Stanislav Petrov?
Yeah, good.
There you go. Want to be years at it, man.
Yeah. This was long before it was cool to know Stanislav.
That's right. We were all over this years ago.
Totally. Yeah. Backstage passes and everything, man.
Big time. Yeah. Even went over for dinner.
Yeah. Well, actually, we tried to get him on the podcast. But, it didn't happen.
What's the Russian for fuck off?
So this is the story of Stanislav Petrov, who saved the world during the Cold War. He didn't press the big launch the nukes button when he was told to by his superiors, going, no, that can't be right. Yeah, no, something's wrong. Yeah, I'm not pressing that. And he held off for, don't know how long.
Long enough.
It was 20 minutes, half an hour before someone urgently came in and went, no, don't press the button. So, anyway, for saving the world, he was fired for disobeying an order.
The insubordinate bastard.
Insubordinate. Yeah.
I don't understand why we're making traitors to the country that they're supposed.
Yeah.
People know.
Yeah, you know, if I was in that position, I'd have been awful tempted just to go for it.
Oh, this is what I've trained for years.
The button pushed and marshmallows on sticks before you could say lickety split.
Just get stuck in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking forward to this because we know the story. It's just I'd like to see a Hunt for Red October visualizations type thing. You know.
Well, I don't know if you'll get that because it's more of a documentary, isn't it? Than a
with just pictures, Mike. Pictures. Okay. You know. Yeah. So that's it soon. Yeah.
Imagine if they got Sean Connery in it as like a Russian colonel or something.
No, as Stanislav Petrov. Could you imagine? Push the button. Not pushing it, but. So the next one is called The Beauty Inside. Now, through this in, it was a bit of a... Now, wait, listen, hear me out, right? It's a bit of a wild card, but this is making quite large noises and is going to make a load of money. It's been critical acclaim all over the place. They love it. They love it. So
it has all of it means it's film.
Not sure what you said there, Mark. I'm afraid.
I think he said it was brilliant and he's really looking forward to it.
Now, you know, bar the subtitles, I thought that this could be right up Mark Street. This sounds like a bottle of wine night for himself.
It's a rom-com.
It is, yeah.
Could be very romantic.
When they read Ryan Reynolds, I'm there.
Okay. So it'll be Ryan Reynolds and...
Judi Dench.
Well, that's the thing. Ryan Reynolds would only have to be one of a slew of characters. That's the thing. So anyway, I better explain what this is about. This is about a guy who falls in love with a girl, but unfortunately, he wakes up, is it every morning or every week?
Every morning.
Every morning, as a different person. And that could be an old person, a young person, like facial features. The whole body is different. But he somehow gets it through to her that he's the same dude, and they fall in love. And she, you know, there's a few hilarious moments where he turns up as like a 12-year-old boy, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see this.
For the ride today.
Oh Jesus! No, I think I'd like to see this. It looks like fun.
Yeah,
it looks quality as well.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as though it's had a lot of money in it and looks well made.
Yeah,
I think the standards have risen over the last 10 years or so.
They haven't given us any hint though of the danger. For a rom-com to be good, there's got to be something.
Look, it's Korean, right? So you're guaranteed there's going to be a big, teary, devastating moment in it somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
The very generalistic statement, but if you watch even like pop videos, it's either there's a big breakup or someone dies, and they were in love, and then someone dies.
Yeah,
it's incredible the amount of movie or of pop videos that have that in it.
Right.
Same with the movies as well.
Yeah.
They love a good old ball,
a good old cry.
Yeah.
That's
just release the old tension there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe I suppose one of them will die, and in the end, the other one will write a really beautiful poem about how much they loved him.
Something like that, Jeff. So anyway, looking forward to this.
Yeah. We'll see.
The last one we looked at is BBC. It's called The Game Changers. And this stars
Harry Potter.
What's his name? Harry Potter. God, Daniel Radcliffe. Jeez. And it's about what do you call it? Grand Theft Auto. And the guys behind it, and all the problems they had getting into the market. And they had one guy in particular who was opposition to them and brought them to the courts.
I believe it did.
Yeah. And this was to do with the violence and so on contained within. They were a Scottish company, weren't they?
No. Mark's the man you want to ask about, Cayman.
Yeah. It's a pity we lost Mark there.
I'm here.
Oh, you're
right
there.
Here.
Oh, how you doing? We just can't see you. Okay.
Hello. Whoa.
Oh, it sounds like your signal's back. Is your video working? Let's see.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So, what did you think of this, Mark?
I'm interested.
Yeah.
The Grand Theft Auto series never really piqued my interest because of all the driving in it.
Yeah.
But hearing a story about coders versus some very, very self-righteous people is something I'd be quite interested in. So I think the trailer I saw was very short and didn't really say anything. Like what'll make this good for me was if we see a lot of what was actually going on in development. What phases were they at? How was this working with the project? Were they getting late? With the cost of money? Like if all that stuff is there, then I'd be interested in it. But if it simply becomes like two guys going at it in a courtroom.
Yeah,
coming up with examples of how violence in video games is okay, then I won't be quite so interested.
Hang on, let me get this straight. You want to watch a movie about project management?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm interested in games development, damn it.
Sorry, Mark.
You nailed him there. That's right. What do you call it? I'm looking forward to when they realize how much money they're making.
Yeah.
Because it's still the largest earning series, isn't it?
I'm sure Call of Duty's probably beaten it.
I don't know. I don't know because even the last Grand Theft Auto, that's still massive. Yeah. Massive. Anyway. So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, looks like fun. So it's out soon as well, I think. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. Well, Mark, we didn't hear what you thought about The Beauty Inside, whether you're going to watch it or not.
Oh God, no! I'm going to wait till Ryan Reynolds is cast.
That's the one. Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, so that's all from this week. So from Mike, Mark, Steve, and Sean, stay classy.